even me, Howard? No. Oh, damn it. Try harder. Trish isn't here to put on my makeup. I look kind of trailer trashy. 20. I know. Yep. I got that Tanya 10. Look going for me.
Let's rock and roll. 5, 4,
pray. Dreams, a place, you'll find a friend to care. Yeah, Jack. Okay, we are Our Place Out Loud. I am your lovely and captivating host, Louise Palenker. That was Iceman tickling the ivories as only the man of ice can do. We are here to answer all of your teen-related issues, questions, and concerns. We've got Montana, Kiamute, Nico, Maddie, and, of course, Jake is in the booth. Yes? Do you have a Jake song, Iceman?
Jake.
Thank you. That was... Did you write those lyrics?
I worked on that for hours.
Magic! Anyone have any stories or fables or tall tales to tell this week, Madison?
I went to my first concert on Sunday night.
Your first concert?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go to see Peter, Paul, and Mary when you were 7? I thought that was mandatory for all children in America. No.
Mm-mm.
Peter, Paul, and Mary?
1961.
No? Yes, that is one. What was your first concert?
Maroon 5 and Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, my God. Slam. Dang. How was it?
It was really, really great.
Did you have glow sticks?
No, actually.
How do you do it without? Did you hold up your phone?
No, she held
no.
up her payphone. Sorry.
That was awesome. You have really good biceps. Does anyone know what a payphone is? Who
Yes.
likes that song? Okay. Nico, you know what have you ever made a phone call at a payphone?
No.
No?
No.
No. Okay, so Kelly Clarkson, who opens for who? Because they're both like immensely big stars.
Well, there was this girl who I actually don't really remember her name. Her last name was Crane, but she opened for Kelly Clarkson, and then Kelly Clarkson opened
Fraser
for
Crane?
Maroon
What?
5.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a series of openings.
Oh, cool.
Sort of.
So did they have a favorite song that you did?
I mean, I like all their songs, so
Right.
there wasn't one that I liked. But what I thought was really interesting is they didn't play stuff only from their new album. They went back a lot of albums and played a lot of their old stuff too.
All right. Well, 2 weeks ago, I don't want to make you jealous, but I saw Frankie Valli. So I think I win. Okay. Excitement. Okay. Google it. He's a person. Okay. With lots of hits. And is something not working out, Matt? Am I doing a good job on the show? Are you proud of me? Oh, all right. Don't talk about Matt. I know.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
Ignore the man. All right. So we have a question from Kristen who writes, my sister texts a guy, and before she said she didn't like him, I read their messages, and they are now talking about meeting at the library. They are also God forbid they should read. They are also having discussions about kissing. I entered a question a while ago about this, about telling my parents, and you said not to. She does know the rules. She hasn't gotten caught. It's been about 3 weeks. Should I tell them? It's gone too far. Oh, the hands are up. We're going to start with Montana.
Okay, I don't know what the rules in your house are, but you need to chill out. They're going to a library, and she's talking about kissing him. She's not talking about doing meth or getting pregnant with 7 babies. No, she's talking about maybe a first romance, and you need to let her have that, and also don't look through your sister's texts.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of
quite an invasion of privacy, especially you have no right to if you're her sister. Why would you even want to?
Maddie?
I mean, I think that it's gone too far is a bit of a statement that has gone too far because it's just not necessary.
Intriguing.
I mean, it doesn't look like she's kissed him if they're only talking about it, and they're meeting at the library. The library. How intimidating.
Well, I mean, that is a really excellent place.
A really inappropriate place, obviously.
Well, they have to kiss quietly.
Exactly.
In my day, you went to reference because nobody was way the hell back there. And that was where you made out. Keo.
Do we know how old
these.
No,
today.
we don't. See, you're just like my husband. I'm always telling him stuff, and he's like, how old are they? I'm like, I don't have, like, a biography on the person.
Yeah.
All I know is what she just typed to me.
But I mean, that's kind of important to me, like whether or not it's appropriate or not.
You know, it's interesting because I think I wrote back, like, unless your sister's 9, I really don't see where...
Yeah.
Because I think the difference between tattling and not tattling is how much danger is the person in.
Yeah.
So, like, you and your siblings are all going to have infractions, and I think if you tattle, if you're like, she didn't squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom, like, that's, like, tattling. Or, she didn't close the fridge while making a sandwich. But if it's something that a normal kid would do, if it's like Montana said, if it's not meth, then your relationship with your sister is more important than you telling your parents. Did you have something, Nico?
Well, first off, Montana, if they were having 8 babies, would that be okay?
Only if she gets a show like Octomom.
Oh, perfect.
Wait, did she get a show?
She got a show for like a season, I think.
Oh.
Wait, seriously?
She has to
Okay,
wait
never
until
mind.
they become a singing group, and then they'll get a show.
Yeah.
The Octo family, they're all going to get on a
K
bus.
plus 8.
There's going to be a
That
nervous
didn't
mother
end well,
driving.
though. I
What?
did.
All right, so when to tell and when not to tell on your sibling, I think is a very, most of you have siblings. Like, have you had that moment where you went, okay, I think I better say something? Or have you had that moment where you said, I'm staying out of this? Maddie?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, my brother's very rule following and such.
It's really
But-
annoying.
It is, though. It really is. Because he's like, it's like over the top. And moving on. When he owed me, like, a lot of money, like more than $50, then I decided to say something. Because I don't want to talk to him about it, because then he's just going to yell at me.
You don't go straight to the goons. Don't even involve your parents. Just call the goons and, have him whacked. When money's involved. Oh, yeah. Nico?
Well, in this situation, I feel like you're kind of worried about your sister, and yeah, I would get that. If my brother started dating someone, I'd be thinking, okay, what's he doing with this girl? It'll be probably on my mind for a while.
He's 9.
Well, yeah, but he's got to grow up sometime.
Right. So if he were, say, 13 in this, you saw these texts, would that be alarming to you?
No.
Exactly. That's why I'm thinking. If I'm thinking that this is a younger sister.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Keo.
That's what I was about to guess. That it seems like this is a younger sister, and this is kind of the first time that she's seeing her older sister do this, and it's kind of freaking her out. 'Cause
Right.
It's never
Exactly.
been like that.
Because you're thinking, okay, we're not allowed to have boyfriends, we're not allowed to kiss, and like, I'm not used to. But like, once you're both sort of teenagers, you kind of like will not. I don't mean to say like keep each other's secrets like against the parents, but just like what needs to be told and what you can tell, kind of like at a family reunion when everyone's 40 and like, oh my God, remember when you ran away to the library and and didn't check out any books? We are at 888-531-7171. Remember when there were libraries? That was fun. Because we're going to get to that point, right?
Well, I mean, we'll still have libraries. They'll just be virtual.
Oh. That's deep. All right, so I'm still saying don't tell unless you think that your sister is really putting herself in danger. And like what Montana said, I don't even know why you read her texts because kind of...
Spite.
I think that what your sister's doing is really normal, natural stuff for a 12 or 13 or 14-year-old person, and I don't think it's something that you need to be telling your parents yet. All right, so Dream Girl writes, okay, so there's a rumor going around the school that I'm gay, which I'm not. I actually have a huge crush on a guy at the moment. Is there a way to deal with it or to find out who started it? Maddie.
I wouldn't go trying to find out who started it, because that could just end really badly with, like, people getting blamed and then you not feeling like you got any resolution, and if that's the right word. And then, I think you either just have to go with the flow, like, you have to kind of go, yeah, that's funny, because no, or, you can really show your affections for this guy. And, maybe he'll go out with you, and then people are all like, okay, well, yeah, whoever thought that was wrong. And most of the time, it's people going, he or she could be gay. Nah, okay, moving on. It's usually not a big topic unless it's like some really famous celebrity. So Montana, what do you think?
That was a great transition. Oh my god, we got this down. So, I find that this happens a lot in middle school. Like, in middle school, I was called gay all the time. The stupidest reason, because my friend, I would ask why people thought I was gay, and my friend was like, your head is kind of shaped like a lesbian. So, I don't know why that was a thing, but
There's a measurement for it?
apparently it's too round.
What?
So anyway,
Sorry. It's just like middle school kids being experts on anything is like
I know.
really funny.
I know. When did they have the time to like measure my head? Anyway,
Or measure any lesbian's head.
I know.
Right?
But so my experience with this is just you kind of have to just take it, like have it roll off your shoulder. It can be hurtful sometimes, especially when people are like, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. But I kind of just take it like if somebody was saying, well, I'm wearing a black right now, if you guys can't see, and it would be like somebody saying, oh, you're wearing blue. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because gay
That's a
isn't
good
such a
analogy.
bad thing.
I really
it's,
like
it's
it.
just a way of being. It's like you're straight or you're not straight, or it just is.
Well, what
it's
I
not
said,
bad.
Yeah. So what I said to the kid in the app, what she could say is, "Thank you, but no, I'm actually straight."
Yeah.
So like, treat it like it's a compliment because, like, it's cool to be gay.
Yeah.
Nico?
They have nice furniture.
Well, lesbians can really build nice furniture.
We can do I should know. I have the head shape.
You should. Nico?
Well, I didn't really get called gay for my head shape. I mean, you can't really be on football and then have like hair like this and not get called gay. In my experience,
Really?
anyway.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that was the thing.
Really?
Your hair's cute.
I know, but they were super jealous.
For sure.
Faux show. Anyway.
And so it's like impossible to prove a negative. And so the more you try to prove a negative, the more it sounds like you're protesting too much. And so since this rumor to me is like a non-issue, I would just say like, well, that's cool, but I'm not. Kyo?
Yeah, whenever somebody brought that to me, like, you're gay or something, I didn't get that a lot, but, like, that kind of thing, I would say, I am? Oh, how did you... that's a surprise. Thanks for letting me know. I didn't know that. Like, you know better than me what I, like... And I would to the finding out who started it, because that's in the question, that's kind of... For one, rumors don't always have a place for where they started.
That's really wise.
And also, if somebody actually started it, the most that you can take action with that is that just don't trust that person, don't give that person information later, but don't try and do something about it because that's not going to really help. Maddie?
It kind of sounds like when, like on those crime shows where like they're interviewing someone and they go, I didn't do it. And the more they say I didn't do it, you're like, okay, they totally did it. So it's kind of like, it's exactly what you were saying. The more you try to disprove it, the more people are going to go, I'm not so sure about that.
Right.
So it's kind of more just like a let it roll off your shoulder. It's middle school or high school. It will pass. This is not going to be the topic of your lifetime, I promise.
Yeah, it's sort of like turn on the news one day and then turn it on the next day. You don't hear them saying anything about what they were saying the day before, and like when it's on the news, you're thinking, oh my god, this is like the biggest story in the world forever, and then the next day it just isn't. Like, who cares about Charlie Sheen anymore, really? But at the moment we were like oh my god, what's Charlie Sheen gonna do? And now it's like, who's Charlie Sheen? So it's the same way with rumors about you being gay or whatever. It's like in the moment it seems like forever, but it honestly won't be. Promise. Montana?
It was just sort of a quick comment about when Maddie was talking about like trying to prove a negative. It kind of reminds me of like witch trials. Like the more you say you're not, you're totally a witch, but you can't be. And there's no way to prove either way. And I'm not saying like gay people are witches. No, I
but
don't know
you
where I'm
just
going
did.
with this.
And if we like edit that one
They're
part
not.
out, then you've said that.
If you just edit it out to where I say gay people are witches. No, Okay, I took this a weird direction. I love gay people.
No, because
I
all
love
right. So
them.
here's the thing. It's like easy
I'm
for us.
bi.
It's easy for us to sit here in California and say, "So people think you're gay."
Yeah.
Like whatevs.
Yeah.
But there are parts of the world where that's a rumor that, like, whether you're gay or not, like, you don't want to talk about it yet.
And even if you're in middle school, like in California, it's still kind of scary because everybody was like, "Oh, you're gay. We don't like you." And my friend always used to get mad at me and bunch me like, gay people are the devil." Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she joking?
No, she's stupid.
All right. We are at 888, and we are Our Place Out Loud. We're just dial 888.
Remember, I can sing the phone
And then,
number.
well, that's what I was leading up to, and then I was like giving away the lyrics to your song. So we are Our Place Out Loud. I am Louise Palenker, and you can give us a call at
888-351-7171 for my what? What? What did
Uh-oh.
I say?
People are calling the wrong people.
It's 888-531-7171.
Yes, you said 351.
Take two. Call 888-531-7171 for Our Place Fun. What are you waiting for? Okay?
Yay!
Sorry,
That's
you got
my
me all
new favorite song.
Miscombobulated. there.
Number one single on iTunes right now. You can download it. Montana, Keo, Nico, and Maddie. And we have Jake in the booth. And Jake, do you have a camera today?
Yes,
Yay!
yes, I do.
It's Jake
Hi.
the booth. Yay, it's Jake. All right, so, is it time for Thread Theater? No, not yet? Okay. So, the boss said no. We might not have enough questions today. Scorpio writes, is it true that when you stop talking to a woman that they think about you more?
It didn't work for me in high school.
So
and
it's like one of
college.
those philosophy. Every single girl you never talk to is still into you, and you know it. Yes, Maddie?
I think if she likes you and she hasn't heard from you, then she's probably worrying about it.
Well,
but I mean,
what happened,
There's no way
like-
to tell, really.
Like later on in the thread, what I found out was that like talking to her hasn't worked. So
Oh.
now he's wondering if not talking to her will work. So let's talk
No.
about like the philosophy of romance and the heart. Go ahead, Montana.
Well, if talking to her hasn't worked, excuse me, if talking to her hasn't worked, what chance do you have with not talking to her? I'm a big fan of like not playing mind games because I don't do well because I kind of just don't understand subtlety and stuff like that.
Is that because of the size of your head?
Oh, lesbian head.
Go ahead, Keo.
I think it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors. I think that you just have to get lucky with the right type of person, and you have to be saying the right types of things, and it's not always going to be one thing or always going to be another. And I think that you want to interest the other person. You want them to be interested in you. And then if you stop talking to them, they're going to be like, "What's going on? Why aren't you talking to me?" But if you just ignore them like that, then they're going to be like, "That's rude. I don't like that."
Well,
Maybe.
I think I agree with you, Montana, in that like I really never wanted to play any games involved in romance at all. But what if there was some sort of psychology to it in that like if he was really just talking to her and texting her all the time and all she just thought was like he's annoying and then he suddenly went away?
Well, that works, but I don't think that would make her like him just because if she didn't like him initially, now she'll just think, "Oh, he's mad at me. Okay." And then she won't think about it too much. Or she might be a little bit worried, but not because she likes him, just about his safety. What do you think, Nico?
I can kind of understand the mindset behind the whole ignoring people and the like you more. Like, it's supposed to be the chase. If you're talking to someone more than they want to talk to you, it's going to get annoying. But if you stop talking to them and they want to talk to you again, well, they're chasing after you. They actually want to talk to you. It's a good way to reassure yourself that they actually want to talk to you or be with you, but to actually have it as a way to get a girl, I'm not really sure how it works.
Jakey has a thought. And then Maddie.
Moderation. Don't only talk to her. Don't never talk to her. Do both at the same time.
What if you do this with your hands while
That
you
really
talk?
helps if you just walk up and do this and then leave.
It
That
confuses
really
them.
helps.
But that's good.
Maddie?
But yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if you do something like because I mean there are people that have probably never talked to me that I don't really think about because they've just never talked to me. But, like, if somebody just, like, talked to me or was just like, hi, how are you? You know, blah, blah, blah. Said something, like, very kind of, like, short and, like, that I'd never really talked to before. Like, so someone that I didn't talk to on a regular basis. And I was wondering why they did, you know, then I might text them later and be like, you know, hey, it was nice that you said hi in the hallway today. You know, it was like, I've never really talked to you before or gotten to know you.
Right.
If I was interested in getting to know that person further. But if I wasn't, then it was just like, oh, that was nice, moving on with my life.
Well, what I like to say involving, like, assuming this guy asked the question because he'd really tried everything and nothing had worked, so now he's thinking of trying nothing. Well, if you do nothing, if you stop talking to the girl, one of two things will happen. Either the girl will miss you and wonder where you went, or you won't miss the girl. And so either one of those things is a good thing in terms of moving on with your life and with your dignity. And so I say, you know, yeah, give it a few days of not speaking to her and see if she notices that you stop speaking to her. Kyo?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work, and that's something that everybody has to accept sometimes. Well, not everybody. Some people are lucky, but...
Yeah, no, there's some people, like, look, there's even people that are, like, extremely popular and handsome or whatever, and half of the women, he's not their type.
Yeah.
Like, but he's got half the women, so it seems like, oh my God, he's got anything and everything. But there's still 50% of women who are just like, you know, I don't really think he's that cute, and that could be the one that he wants, just because of people, you know, wanting what they can't have. Maddie?
Okay, I have a question for the women in the room. The guy who's in the movie, what's it called? Rush. The one about the car racing thing.
Yeah.
The one who is also Thor, that guy.
Yeah.
Is it Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, it's the big guy that has a
Brian
brother.
Cranston.
With
The
the
big-
long hair.
The guy with the brother.
Hemsworth.
Oh, the
Yeah.
hot one.
Okay,
Okay.
see, like, most
should've
of
just
my
said that.
friends are, like, completely in love with him, and I don't think he's attractive.
Yeah, you
Oh,
just don't
really?
get it. It's not
No.
your thing. So
like
everyone, you know, everyone has a type, and then once you talk to the person, it's like, oh, he's like this, and then so it's a whole different layer of everything once you get to know their personality and stuff. Did you have something, Iceman?
Yeah, I was just going to say regarding how long you should wait before talking to someone, say, along this topic. The movie Swingers has a great scene when they're in the bar, and Jon Favreau gets this girl's phone number, and then the rest of the guys just go off on this formula on how long you should wait before contacting a girl after getting their number. Look that up, because you'll learn nothing from it, but you'll laugh a lot. It's really funny.
The best part of the movie, though, is then when he calls her, and like, and then he doesn't get the message right, and he keeps trying to make it right by calling her repeatedly.
Over and over and over
Don't
again.
make that mistake. Like,
But
Kyo?
there is something to remember, though.
Yeah.
There's an old show business phrase that says, always leave them wanting more. So if there's someone that you're
Yes.
interested in, you know, maybe you can start talking to them, texting to them, or whatever. But don't overdo it at first and seem too desperate. Always leave them wanting a little bit more and make them interested.
I like that because, you know, what Maddie said was like, oh, if there's some kid that I didn't even know existed came and said, hey, how's your day going? And then he walked away and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that guy might like want to be my friend. And so he'd be on your radar screen. So I think there's something to that. Like if you taste something really delicious, then you might want to have like the whole cupcake. But if you just walk by the cupcake, you'd be like, I don't know what a cupcake is. I don't know if I would like cupcakes, but so give people a taste of you and then kind of back away. So there kind of is an art to it without playing games, Montana. I still think a little bit of an art, but yeah, not some people are just not going to like you romantically, and that's just the end of that. But there's a bunch of people that will. Kyo.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, it goes with anyone, even if you want to make friends or whatever. If you just tell everyone just your life story up front and like all of that, they're going to be like, whoa, and kind of want to back away. So there's certain finesse that you need to have, but I don't think it's necessarily mind games, but it's like a slippery slope. It can turn into mind games, and you can start asking yourself, what should I do, rather than what do I want to do? Because that's kind of how I do things, because then I don't think, oh, I should have done this. It's not like a regret. It's just, this is what I did because that's what I would do, and that's what I wanted to do. Maddie?
But then there are some people who, if you told them your life story up front, they would have been like, oh my God, you're so honest. Like, I really love how honest you are, like, as a person. Like, I really value that in a person. So like there still are people that like would want to do that, Nico.
I think we had a question last week about someone telling their life story up front and then that not going very well for them. So I'd probably go back to that. I think the main thing would be moderation. Either, what everyone's been saying, really. Talk to them a bit or don't talk to them. You just got to mix it up. Go on with your life. Make sure you're not the only thing. Montana.
Make sure they're not the only thing is really good advice, Nico.
For most people, I would agree with you. Don't tell them your life story up front. However, I had a friend who did this to me once. Like, I met her, and then 20 minutes later, she texted me and told me her entire life story, and then she's like, "Can I hear yours?" And I actually was like, "Wow, this is really fun." And so we became friends like that, and that doesn't help with most people, but if you feel like they're very open and, like, fun and stuff.
And you get each other.
Yeah.
Like, you're vibing, like, instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to figure out their vibe, not, like...
And
if you like them or not.
Right. I just wanted to add that, like, this doesn't have to do with romance, but when it comes to, like, people in the app posting, like, I sometimes see, like, a really great post, like, hey, who wants to talk about, like, what they ate for dessert Friday night and sprinkles. And, like, they'll be really cute and funny, and that will have no answers. And I'll be thinking, I hope this person doesn't get discouraged because sometimes it's just the wrong time of day or nobody saw it or... Like our place is a good example of where you have to kind of keep dabbling at it, like kind of keep posting things that are cute and reveal your personality. Like don't just like I'm sure it's depressing to open it up and see that no one answered my post and I was like really trying to be cute and funny, and it's okay. Keep posting because a lot of it has to do with timing or they may have been in someone else's chat room or whatever. Keo.
Yeah, I definitely think, like you two are saying, that there are people who will be accepting and be like, oh, like, I like that you're telling me your life story right up front. That's interesting and honest, and I like that. I think then with that, you need to ask yourself, is this person someone, like, do I want to meet someone who will be accepting of that? And then telling your life story up front is kind of weeding out the people who aren't accepting, if that's something that's important to you, for them to be accepting of you telling
someone who's that open immediately. Yeah. I mean, everyone has sort of a different style of being on the planet, and you have to find people that sort of match your vibrations. And and I know that sounds like a hippie term, but I don't actually know what our vibrations are. But what I take it is that like you either get somebody, and I think you can tell that kind of within an hour. I mean, I don't think you should judge someone by how they look. Like, I think you should sit down and try and talk to them, but like,
not always. You can't always tell right immediately, because there are some people that aren't just like, you're not going to get who they are immediately. It takes a little
What
longer.
about psychopaths? They're all just like normal when you meet them, but and then they're all like...
How many psychopaths have you met?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's the thing. You never know until they get all psychopathy.
I think that, I mean, the adults in the room can kind of like weigh in on this one. I think that the more you grow up, the quicker you can get a read on somebody. Matt, what do you think? Well, like when you're like 16, like aren't you still kind of like open to everybody kind of, or like immediately going no?
Yeah, and I don't know whether that's because you get stung more in relating to people and get a little bit more cautious, or if you're just sort of more used to people. But yeah, I think so as you get older.
Maddie?
Well, I think as a young person, everybody's trying to kind of figure out who they are. So
Yeah.
everybody's kind of a little more confused. It's all more like mixed colors.
Right.
And
Like you
then
don't
when
even
you're an
know.
adult, you kind of pretty much know who you are.
Yeah, like if you don't even know who you are, how are you going to know whether or not to give another person a chance? We are at 888-531-7171. I am Louise Planker, your lovely and captivating host of Our Place Out Loud, here with a panel of wise and wonderful teens. We have Montana, Kimute, Nico, Madison, and of course Jakey is in the booth. What's going on in the chat room, Jake? Anything exciting? You guys talking about zombies?
Apparently psychopathic people are actually common, and then the post after that is because he got the booty.
All right. But this should be a regular segment. Random thoughts from chat. They don't have to match. All right, we're going to do Thread Theater. I'm super excited about it. The title of this piece is The Perfect Guy, and I'm going to give the part of guitar player to Jake, and then Montana, you are going to play With No Hands. Keo, you're going to play Kitty Girl Meow. Nico, you're going to play Hawkheart.
Can I be
And
Madison?
You can be...
Because that's, my name.
Is there
and
someone
stuff.
named Madison?
Yeah. at the
Okay,
next
you can be
stage.
Madison. And then there's some parts in the middle that can be played by Nico. Just because I want to get on with the show. I like the music.
That's our theme.
Okay, curtain up, Thread Theater, The Perfect Guy, guitar player.
That's me, right?
Yep.
Hey, girls, what's your idea of a perfect guy?
With no hands.
To me, it'd be a guy who can make me laugh a lot, who is confident and can dance. My perfect guy would be somebody who brightens up my life, and someone I can count on. Smiley face.
Kitty Girl Meow.
Maybe a tough guy that would stand up for me and would always be there for me.
Hawkheart.
A good-looking guy who is kind of mysterious and a little morose, gloomy, and a guy who is nice, funny, and loves me.
Xavier.
Oh yeah, I'm doing
Still
all that.
you, Nico.
And a perfect guy who will love me for who I am despite my imperfections.
Fashionista girl.
Cute, duh. And funny and silly and romantic when needed, and himself, and not afraid to tell you what they think, and most importantly, your best friend.
XLR9.
Funny yet also gloomy. Priorities, girl. XD. Asking for everything at once is a tall order. Ha ha ha.
Share forever.
I ran out of voices. A guy that will take weird pics, love his girl with or without his friends around, and always want to be around her, and will talk to you 24/7.
Madison XOO.
A guy that would stand up for me no matter what. One who isn't afraid to take selfies with me. He would come up and hug me from behind and hold my hand in public. Who would fight for me even if it meant fighting with me. Who would beat the SH out of any guy who hurt me. A guy who would not care if I dressed in sweats with no makeup and my hair up and still think I'm beautiful even when I know I'm really not. Which I'm sure you are.
Okay, so question from Wheezy to the panel, or to anyone who wants to give us a call at 888-531-7171. Do teen girls really know what type of guy would be good for them? Because what did you guys think of these responses? I was a little like this. Nico?
I thought the gloomy part was a little
How is he supposed to be gloomy and funny? Like, that's one well-rounded dude.
Hey,
Maddie, George knock, Carlin. knock.
Oh, George Carlin, gloomy funny. Okay, let's see who's on the phone. Hello? Welcome to Our Place Out Loud.
Hello.
Kianess. That's
What?
who are you in California?
Oh, did not know that.
Oh, who
Mrs. Jordan Chris Colfer here
Hello.
again.
You didn't answer this question, did you? What's your perfect guy?
No, I don't think so.
What's your perfect do you like guys?
Yes.
What's your perfect guy?
Chris Colfer.
Yeah, I know, but like you're not his perfect guy. So like if it were going to be
know.
like, a guy that were straight, like what would be your perfect guy? Like Chris Colfer but straight?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah. So like really cute, pretty eyes, beautiful singing voice, and very sensitive and loving.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, your answer would be kind of realistic, whereas I don't know. What did you think of the way the kids answered this question? Were you a little bit surprised that
Sort of.
like what I mean, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but to me it felt shallow and unrealistic the way most of the kids answered. And I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but you're the first one to respond, Mrs. Colfer. So what were your thoughts on how girls of maybe 12 or 14 were identifying their perfect guy?
Well, I think some of them have maybe seen a little too many movies and kind of seen those guys a little more often.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and those guys aren't normally very realistic.
Mm-hmm. And did you notice that there was kind of a value placed on someone who's willing to take selfies with you? Because I wanted to boil down that for a second. Is that about I want the rest of the world to know I have a boyfriend, or I want a boyfriend? What is... Madison's got her hand up. Go ahead, Maddie.
I mean, honestly, to me, it kind of sounds like all these girls who respond to this question want, like, a Disney prince. I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like, a more modern type Disney prince, because a good-looking guy who is kind of mysterious, a little morose, and a guy who is nice, funny, and loves me. That's kind of like a modern Disney prince.
Okay.
Like,
Gaston.
It's not. it's not realistic. I mean, I feel like, you know, your perfect guy is the one that you get married and don't get divorced from.
What about how many people said a tough guy who will stand up for me and beat up other guys? There was a lot of that, a lot of selfies, a lot of appearance. Nico, your thoughts?
Well, I think some of this isn't exactly shallow. I mean, you do want someone who you're attracted to be with. I mean,
right.
Even if it's like a great guy who's I don't know, he's got like a beard in kindergarten or something, and you don't want to be with hairy guys, then, you know, that's not going to work out exactly.
I don't want to be with a hairy kindergartner. I know that. I would check him off my list immediately. Montana.
Well, I don't know if it's fair to discredit these girls as much. I mean, yeah, when you first read it, it's like, oh my god, that's totally a teenage girl thing to say. But it's hard to describe the perfect guy if you haven't met him yet.
Oh, that's a good point. See, I don't want to discredit them in the least. I think it's really scientifically interesting what a 12 or 14-year-old will put as her top values, and that this will become refined as she grows older. I'm not in any way judging these responses. I'm studying them like a scientist.
Yeah, I mean, but being a teenage girl, I can kind of look at it and be like, oh god, is this how the rest of the world sees us? So...
Because there were a couple of people that were I like Xavier, who said, an imperfect guy that will love me for who I am despite my imperfections. That's something that a 40-year-old woman would say. That was a very mature answer.
That's very mature, but also you don't know what his personality is going to exactly be like, so you pick tough and funny and what people tell you.
But why do they want him to be morose and gloomy? What's that all about?
Twilight.
Oh.
Twilight.
I got you. Maddie?
I mean, I definitely agree with what you said, Montana, that it's kind of as a teenage girl, it's just oh, is that how, everybody sees every, single teenage girl that they all want a boyfriend to take selfies with? It's a little disappointing that that's how some of the world sees us, but I feel like a lot of the times girls that don't have boyfriends and want one, or have never had one and want one, it's kind of like they want a boyfriend that's going to kind of hang out with them like their really good friends do. You know what I mean? Like they want a guy who has the same qualities and wants to do the same things that they do with their friends.
And just loves them fiercely.
Exactly. Like a best friend that loves you romantically.
Yeah, and that's something that women always want, is just someone who just loves them. And I like the girl that talked about will love me without any makeup, and I thought that was really cool, because that's what a real guy that really loves you will do. And I think it's interesting your taste in men, Mrs. Colfer, because you don't like someone who's morose and gloomy. You like Chris Colfer, and he's pretty perfect, and
he's like a ball of sunshine.
Yeah, he really is. So I think you've got good taste in men. But have you ever asked a boy to take a selfie with you to sort of try and prove whether or not he loves you, Mrs. Colfer? I
don't do selfies.
Oh, you don't do selfies?
No.
Yeah. So do you have opinions? Go ahead. Because selfies are kind of new to your guys' generation, so I'm just curious as to if a lot of kids your age you feel are identifying themselves around the concept of what do others think of how I look, but in a really big technological way that can be spread out all over the internet. Whereas it used to just be how do I look when I get to school? Now it's how do I look online or on Instagram and all that? What's your opinion on that, Mrs. Colfer?
Personally, I don't think it matters really what you look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're more into the person.
As long as you like the way you look, it doesn't matter what other people think.
Exactly.
Because you have to be comfortable in your own skin.
I love it. You're our favorite caller. We'll see you next week, Mrs. Colfer. Thank you for checking in, Montana.
I think the selfies thing, could be slightly more deep, because a lot of the time people make fun of selfies because, oh my god, you took a selfie. Maybe she might just be saying, I want my boyfriend to be somebody who's not embarrassed to be
seen with me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
That. So it could be deep, or it could just be like, I want a boyfriend to have selfies with. We're gonna have the cutest pictures, stuff like that.
But I love what you said, which is that this may not be as shallow as we think it is. I love that. Kyo.
I would say that it's not like, it doesn't have to be realistic for one, because they're asking the perfect guy.
Yeah, it's just a fun answer. Please answer the question and don't judge each other.
Yeah,
and I'm sitting here judging everybody. Like the worst example ever.
But so, like, it doesn't have to be realistic, and I think that once you go through once you go through more, or at least even one relationship, after my first relationship, I learned a lot of what I want in another partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of these girls haven't had a relationship or any long-term relationship.
Right.
So they don't really know. So this is what they have to go on.
And what would you want the girls who answered this question, like what would you want them to know about maybe what would be other qualities that could go in their next list of the perfect guy, like that they should start to look for and feel like they deserve?
Someone who's, I think, considerate and can empathize with you, and pays attention to you.
A good listener. Yeah. Maddie?
I mean, I know this, like, at first kind of it sounds a little silly, but you really actually do want to find someone who agrees with you on a lot of major moral topics, because it's hard to be disagreeing with someone that you want to be close with. Because, if, you have someone who's really close who, is, your partner, and, you're very kind of pro-gay and your partner's very anti-gay, it's hard to kind of, be disagreeing on major topics. Montana, what do you think?
Oh, I didn't have my hand up. I was
sorry.
playing with my fingers.
Nico?
Apologize. No, go ahead.
Nico's hand was up.
I just took the mic from you. I'm sorry. I think the most important thing for me personally would be to find someone you really enjoy spending time with.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't enjoy spending like an entire day with a person, then I don't think a whole relationship would work out.
Right. No matter how cute you think each other are.
Like-
Kyo.
But there definitely needs to be a physical attraction. I would
Yes,
say.
I agree 100%. I never want to downplay that has to be there, because don't ever feel shallow if you think, I really like this person except for that, like, I'm not, like, physically attracted to him or her. Like, it's your right to be
just be friends.
because there's room in your life for, like, lots and lots and lots of friends and people that will have, like, a ton of value and meaning in your life that won't necessarily be your husband or your wife.
Yeah, and a good friendship can be just like, people kind of downplay friendship, I think, where they think a relationship is like the next level. A good friendship isn't any lower than...
No, it's just a different way of loving somebody, and it can go the distance, like, throughout your life, whereas, like, someone could be married to someone, like, 1 year and then the next year divorced and never ever speaking to that person. That like, marriage is, like, it's kind of like an all or nothing thing, and, like, friends can be forever. Maddie?
And it's really important to remember that everyone is not perfect. You aren't going to like every single quality of someone that you're in a relationship with. Because, I mean, there are going to be people in your life who you're going to really, really, really like for a lot of reasons and not like for some reasons.
Yeah.
You're never going to like every single quality in a person. So it's
No.
not like, I really, really like this person, but this thing, like how their cuticles look, it really bothers me. So this is not going to happen.
What's the matter with my cuticles?
And your cuticles are really nice. It's just the shape of your head is a little unusual. Who do we have on the phone?
Katz is on the phone.
Cats!
Hello,
Hey, girl, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Hi.
What do you think of the update? Do you have iOS 7?
Yeah, I have iOS 7.
Do you like how it changes colors when you tap on stuff?
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
what?
so
That's
cool.
actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the update.
It does?
Yeah, it made some iPods crash, but so it's a love it or hate it kind of thing. But we're fixing that. So, did you have a question, or do you want to weigh in on the topic tonight, Katz?
Well, I was going to weigh on I can't speak right now. I was going to weigh in on the topic, but I kind of lost connection, and now I have no clue what's going on.
Oh, well, we were talking about like girls talking about their perfect guy, and how we did we did thread theater about that because a guitar player said, "Hey, girls, what's your idea of a perfect guy?" And a bunch of girls wrote in, and like some of the we were just kind of interested in some of the responses, so we thought maybe we would ask you, what's your idea of a perfect guy?
Mine personally is fictional guys and Niall Horan, so I can't really like.
Anyone who is Niall Horan will do just fine. Well, you know, he's kind of perfect.
He is.
Yeah.
So.
But his teeth have issues.
What are the issues?
His teeth are
Oh,
all
you who
like-
were
did not
talking
say
about
that.
like his
You did not
cuticles
say
aren't
that about
correct. What could be wrong with Niall Horan's teeth?
No.
Have you seen a picture of him when he smiles with his teeth?
He's British. What do you want?
He's not British.
Okay,
He's
he
Irish.
got braces, so now his teeth are perfect.
He did?
And I kind of want him to go back. Yeah.
Oh,
my
I
God.
liked
They're
them when they were
perfectly straight now, and
snaggly.
it's so just yes,
They were so snaggly and cute.
he is. And
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard not to just go ahead and make fangirl noises.
You can make fangirl noises. It's just us girls. Come on. We want to hear some fangirl noises.
Okay. Whenever I make fangirl noises, it's actually really strange.
I want to hear them. Now you've got me intrigued.
Okay. I start rolling my tongue when I fangirl.
Oh, wow. Well, this is getting a little personal.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to stay on the line for the next question? Or do you have a question? Or do you have a specific question for us tonight?
No, I don't have a question.
Okay.
So I'm good.
So, all right. So my name is iPhone. I find it ironic that this is her screen name, and then this is what happened in her own household. Okay. I don't have my own door. My mom took it away from me. Do you think she's violating my privacy? She took it away because I don't go to sleep at night. Okay, you've named yourself iPhone. I can kind of see where you maybe don't want to disengage from devices and put your head on a pillow and get some sleep, so she removed the door. Oh, the hands are going up. Who's had a door removed? Maddie.
I have never had a door removed.
Okay.
Yet. However, I don't know if this was the right way to tackle the problem on the mom's behalf. Like, I think it probably would have been better to kind of like maybe take away the electronics or kind of help your kid figure out, you know, what's going on, why aren't they able to sleep, instead of taking away the door, because like in my house, like if my mom or dad or carpenter removed my door, it would be really tough to do homework and kind of other stuff with all the disturbances going on. And then also, like, you know, most people get changed from pajamas to clothes, from clothes to pajamas in their room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need some privacy. And so, yeah, I feel like if this were me, I would definitely feel like my privacy was violated.
Don't you feel, though, like she hasn't given us enough backstory?
That is very true also, because it definitely depends on why you aren't going to sleep at night. Because if you're, you know, up because, I just still don't understand connection between door and sleep. But
Well, I
mean,
do, because like, what if they said, all right, well, you have to turn off every device, including your television, and so leave your door open so that we know when we go to sleep that you're not using anything and that you're going to sleep. So let's say the parents wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the bathroom and her door is now closed when she promised she would leave it open. Like, I feel like there's some backstory to someone going, okay, where is the screwdriver? We have to take the girl's door away from her.
Wow.
Like, I feel like that's drastic, and that stuff happened before she got to writing me this question. Keo.
That sounds plausible, but it just doesn't make sense to me why you would take a door. Like,
Where did they put it?
Why don't you just take the TV and everything, all the devices at night? Like, you can still like. That's a punishment to me because then you don't get a TV in your room permanently. So it's not something that you get to move in and out.
Well, we have a certified father in the room.
Yeah.
Have you removed a door?
No, but I have threatened it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And I agree. In this particular case, it's probably a better idea to take the electronics away. But sometimes, as a parent, you're pushed and you have to go to the thermonuclear option. And
You've taken her house.
That's definitely one of
You're
them.
living
and
outside.
I have threatened it, and fortunately, I was not pushed to that point.
Yay.
But
All
'cause
right.
I don't know where I'm going to put the darn
Where
door
would
once
you put
I
a
take
door?
it off. Yeah.
All right, Katz, any thoughts?
Taking the door away is just kind of over the top.
Over the top.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder what she has to do to earn her door
That
back.
area is kind of like a kid's space.
All right, Nico.
Even though it is the parents' home, that's still where the kid pretty much like goes to every single day, every single night. They spend a lot of time in there.
Right. It's their one
Taking
place.
away a door just kind of takes that away from them.
Really, it does. Unless you have like a lot of corners. Nico.
So I'm basically going through this whole checklist in my head of like just asking myself why this is crazy. Like, I don't have my own door. What? Is she violating my privacy? Maybe. She took it away because I don't get sleep at night. What? See, I'm thinking it's because of electronics or something like he said. So if I'm not even going to touch on why you got it taken away, but what you could do to get it back is try to just take off all the electronics before you go to bed and try to get bed a little earlier. Cause maybe then your parents will see you as someone like, hey, they're trying to be more responsible now for me. But if your parents are taking down your door, I don't think that would work 100% of the time. But still.
Merry Christmas. Here's your door. Kyo.
Yeah, if I were you, I would go to my parents and say, look, I get that you want me to sleep at night, so can we switch this to I'll give you whatever's distracting me and keeping me up after a certain time, after 9 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And in exchange, you give me my door back because I don't have peace of mind without my privacy.
Right. Maddie.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I would, really just talk to your parents and say, look, I appreciate your concern for me, but I don't think that, well, I mean, first I would ask them, is the reason why you took away my door because you want me to go to sleep? Because if there's another reason, then you probably should know why your door is, just kind of missing.
I mean, I figure
So,
they know.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, but I mean, what if your parents have a different reason than you think that they have?
Yeah.
So, it's kind of talk to your parents. If the reason is that they just want you to sleep, then say, having the door taken away is not helping. I'm still not sleeping, just, because the door is gone.
There's a draft.
There's a draft. It's too cold. So how about, we work something out, like I'll give you my computer and my phone at night, and which is pretty much what, you just said, Kyo. And then, just give her back the door. It's a door. Everybody should have a door.
Everyone should have a door.
Well,
Iceman?
could they compromise and put in a screen door? It'll still allow ventilation, and it's not like completely, open.
But it is because it's see-through, and like it's not. It still doesn't feel like a closed space.
But
Like
it will keep out bugs.
But if you have like a box with a
will
hole
keep
in
out
it, it's
bugs.
not a complete box.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go, Cats. Thank you so much for calling in. What I wanted to say about this problem is that she's writing to us and saying, I don't have privacy, but she's not giving us the reason why the door got taken away. So it's like she's saying, like, I want my door for privacy, but when she had her door, she was taking advantage of the ability to close her door. So I think, you have to own up to what you did to get the door taken away. In order to get anything back or to have a privilege in life, you have to be upfront and acknowledge and be apologetic about whatever you did to have the privilege removed, because if you're not forthcoming with that accountability, they're not going to put your door back. If you're just saying, I need privacy, you're not going to get your door back. But if you're saying, I'm really sorry, I turned on my television, my radio, my iPhone, and my refrigerator at night, and I ate a complete meal while watching Conan, and therefore you had every right to take my door. Like, you have to say the truth, like accountability. Okay, Q.
Also, sleep is really important, so you should be sleeping. There's a reason that we spend like a third of our life sleeping, because it's an important
So we
thing
can
to
dream
do.
about having a door.
Yeah. Montana.
Montana.
Yeah, your sleep will catch up to you and ultimately fix the problem, whether or not you have a door or electronics, because you're going to fall asleep somewhere, and you're just going to need sleep. And maybe...
I don't know about that. Jake doesn't sleep.
That's true. But I've seen him doze off a little.
Yes,
so.
he dozes, but that's about it.
He's
He's
dozing
human.
right now.
All right, let's grab this last question from... Oh, it's a long one. Oh, we have two. Okay, so Montana, do you want to read the question from Emma is awesome?
Okay. I'm straight. I have no problem with gay or lesbian bisexuality, but I feel like straight people are not allowed to have pride of being straight, but gays can be proud of being gay? It doesn't make sense. Are you guys offended by me being proud of being straight?
Nico?
I think the main thing here is when they say gay pride, it's not exactly, oh, we gays are definitely better than you guys. It's okay to be gay.
Yeah, it's trying to be even. And I think whenever there's a minority, they get to be more vocal, just like period in life. Kyo.
Yeah, I think the reason that gay pride exists, that whole, like, even that idea that there's pride in being gay, is because it's something that was not accepted and now it's becoming accepted.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that straight people aren't supposed to have pride. It
Right.
just means, like, let's even the playing field here. Maddie?
I mean, I think it's also just because, being straight, there's so much more, like, in the world about being straight, like, you'll see, like, all the, like, hearts everywhere, like, the movies are, usually between, like, a man and a woman, and, there's so much more, like, straight, just kind of, stuff in the world that kind of gay is just kind of, like, exactly like you said, evening it out. It's just because there, is so much straightness.
So, I mean, this kid's too young to know this, but the reason why I find the question, like, when she's older or he's older, he'll see why I find the question to be kind of objectionable in that, like, whenever white people say, like, why don't we get to be proud? You already are proud, and so shut up, because it hasn't been a problem. Like, who's been discriminating against white people? When did that start happening? Jakey?
I don't get any type of pride. You just kind of got born that way. Congratulations. You didn't have any choice. That's who you are. Sure, you can be proud of it, but it's not like you are actively being that. That's just kind of who you are. And I get that it's counterbalancing the hatred in the world that unfortunately still exists. That I understand, but I don't get quite calling it pride.
Well, I get calling it pride because, like, you have been born a white male, Jake, and so you really don't know the struggles of my people growing up female in the South and
No,
Chinese. You don't know what we've been through. And so, yeah, if you feel like if you have ancestors that have hung from trees, I could see why that would be, like, more of an issue to have the word pride in your language if you only taught shame. Like, if you were only taught shame, like if your great-grandfather was a slave and didn't know how to read, like, why can't you have pride if society has evolved to the point where, like, yeah, everybody's the same. Everyone was born a human. And, like, to the point where I've got a kid on my show who's going to make a statement like what you just said. It means we've come a ton, and we all should be proud as humans. Kyo?
Yeah, I think that kind of pride gets kind of taken by that certain group, but everyone should be proud that happened.
Yeah.
And that we're progressing. And I don't so much think that, like, I mean, my dad was born in Nigeria, and so none of my ancestors were slaves, but, like, if they were, then I wouldn't have pride that they overcame being slaves, or they went through civil rights, because I didn't do it. But with gay pride, it's a little different to me because it's overcoming, like, something that you're getting through, because it's still kind of current issue. And if you did grow up in a racist community and you overcame it, then you could have pride of that, I think. But there's some, like, this is just my personal view, that I don't get, like, national pride or, like, your pride for what, like, so many things that
Go Saints. I don't know. Yeah, no, people do have pride for all kinds of different, like, and Jake makes an excellent point. Like, yes, can't we just all be proud to be? You won the sperm betting pool.
Yeah.
You were the one that made it to the egg.
It's like me being proud for being tall. Like,
yeah. Montana.
Well, the difference between this pride and like white pride, I guess, is like you actually actively overcame something, and this is what everybody's been saying. But I guess, yeah, you are allowed to be prideful that you're straight and that you're a person, but what are you going to celebrate? Like, it's like what you were saying with the white history thing. Like, why don't we have a white history month? It's just called history. We just dropped the white.
Maddie?
I mean, and it's not just about race. Like, there are people who, like, overcame, obesity, or, the people who, are cancer survivors. Like, they are very prideful, and, like, it's great. And so in my opinion, it's something that you have to kind of, like, overcome, or, like, when, gay people come out, like, it's it's great. You know, so
I-
anybody who does something positive in their life is a great thing to do, and keep celebrating it.
I like the idea of all of us as a society being proud that we're no longer intolerant. And I think that's something that we can all applaud. So with that, we're going to say goodbye. We will see you next week on Our Place Out Loud. Thank you, guys.